of the lesson, you'll understand what this is and how you can use it in your essay. Let's take a look back at the band descriptors to understand why lexical resource is so important. To achieve a Band 7 in lexical resource for IELTS Writing Task 2, you must be able to use a fairly advanced range of vocabulary. Your understanding of synonyms will be very important, and it's also critical you are able to paraphrase effectively. For a Band 8 score in lexical resource, you will have to do all of those things. Being able to paraphrase, have a great range of vocabulary, use synonyms, understand collocations, and possibly use some idioms. You'll need to be able to do all of this without making too many errors. So that is it for your band descriptors, all about lexical resource. And the reason I'm showing you this is to highlight how important your range of vocabulary and being able to paraphrase using synonyms is. In this lesson, I will show you some structure-specific vocabulary that you can definitely use, and it will help you to score higher band scores. So what actually is structure-specific vocabulary? Well, it's language we can commonly use in each section of our 4-step essay structure. Please make sure you note down any of the language that I show you in this lesson. Let's move on to the first section, which is our introduction. And here is our Task 2 question. In cities across the world, many people are living in large apartment blocks. What are the advantages and disadvantages of this? I'll show you a wireframe with some language you can use for each sentence in the 3-step structure. So, to paraphrase. In densely populated areas, the majority of people are finding accommodation in large blocks of flats. Now, in my first sentence, I've really paraphrased only 3 phrases. Let's take a look at them now. So, instead of cities, I've used densely populated areas. I use finding accommodation to paraphrase for the word living. And instead of apartment blocks, I've used large blocks of flats. So, they are the 3 phrases that I've paraphrased from the question. As I said previously, this is a great way to start off your introduction, as it shows the examiner you understand what the question means. The key vocabulary for sentence 2 is in this essay and throughout this essay. It's also very important to identify the type of question. For example, I've highlighted in blue the advantages and disadvantages, but this could be changed for problem and solution, or whatever other type of question it is. You can use either of these 2 sentence openers to begin your plan sentence. For the 3rd sentence, you may remember the key language being the time openers, firstly and secondly. Remember that the purpose of our outline sentence is to tell the examiner exactly what we will write in supporting paragraph 1 and 2. For that reason, the time openers are very useful. You can also see that I've used firstly, I will discuss, and secondly, I will share. You could also use explore if you like. That's all for the key language for the introduction, so let's move on to our supporting paragraphs. First, let's take a look at the question. Some people say advertisements encourage us to buy products we don't really need. Others say they can help us to learn about new products that could improve our lives. Which side do you agree with? Now, our language focus here will be to use these main point openers. Let's take a look at the first one. To begin with, many people feel they are brainwashed into buying food products that are unhealthy. Firstly, there is a common belief that marketing can make you buy things you don't need. First of all, it is true to say that many people dislike advertising. To start with, advertisements can definitely change our behaviour to buy certain things. Many people feel advertisements influence their buying decisions and shopping behaviour. In the first place, advertisements do often mean buying products you wouldn't normally. So here's some key vocabulary and phrases to begin your main point. A really good way to start your topic sentence. Let's have a look at how we can begin our supporting sentences. Now the question has stayed the same, and just underneath that, I've added my first sentence in the supporting paragraph, or as you'll remember, the topic sentence. Let's take a look at the supporting sentence using the following openers. Furthermore, it is highly important to save money for future hardships. As a result of high spending, people can get themselves into debt with their banks. Moreover, there are other priorities for spending, such as education and health. Consequently, people influenced by adverts may have less money to spend on food. What is more, these surplus products may also have a negative impact on people's health. As an effect, many people feel disappointed for buying products they don't need. So here is some excellent structure-specific vocabulary that you can use for your supporting paragraphs. I suggest bookmarking this part of the lesson, taking a screenshot or noting all these phrases down, as you can definitely use them in your essay too. Let's move on to the final section of this lesson, which is vocabulary all about our conclusion. Here are some opening phrases that you can use. Firstly, let's read through the question. Some people say advertisements encourage us to buy products we don't really need. Others say they can help us to learn about new products that could improve our lives. Which side do you agree with? Now, I'm sure you will have noticed that my vocabulary table is split into two colours. Blue is for the sentence to summarise, and red is for the sentence to give your opinion. And remember, you don't always have to give your opinion in your conclusion, only if you're asked in the question. Let's see the first example. To sum up, it is very clear advertisements have a big influence on our behaviour for many reasons. In conclusion, we can say there are some positives and negatives to advertisements. In summary, people have many different feelings about advertisements and marketing campaigns. I believe that advertisements should be carefully monitored by the government. In my opinion, advertisements have too much power and result in us wasting lots of money. I feel that advertisements can help us to find new products that can help us to be healthier or happier. So that winds up our lesson all around structure-specific vocabulary. There was a lot of language included in this lesson, so you may want to review the lesson, know it, and go back through certain sections of this lesson.